Namaste, angels. This will be our new moon in Sagittarius reading. I'm going to begin with the planets that are still in retrograde to give us an idea of what other energy with which we'll be dealing at the same damn time. Beginning, of course, with Mercury, which doesn't go direct until December 22nd at 8:50 p.m., which is 13 or 4 or 11:11. 13 degrees, which is 4 or 11:11. Sagittarius, it goes direct on December 22nd. When Mercury is in retrograde, well, first of all, it takes 88 days for it to do one complete revolution around the sun. Mercury moves into retrograde 3 times per year for anywhere between 19 to 24 days. When Mercury goes retrograde, mistakes, misunderstandings, problems in communication and transportation are all likely. Do not sign contracts, nor buy new items, nor begin new projects. It's an excellent time, however, to plan, research, and to prepare for something that will happen later. This, of course, from findyourfate.com, where I like to get the retrograde information. Venus is done for the year. Jupiter done for the year. Saturn left its shadow zone and is done as of December 1st. Something else happened December 1st. Oh, Venus entered Sagittarius on December 1st. Yeah, so we had a lot of activity that day too. Uranus, that's the next one. Uranus takes about 84 years to do a complete revolution around the sun, thus spending about 7 years in each sign of the zodiac. Uranus moves into retrograde approximately every year for around 148 days. When Uranus goes retrograde, our inner freedom is the focus. So Uranus doesn't go direct until January 2nd. So we will be continuing to deal with that energy. And of course, it is retrograde in Aries, fellow fire sign Aries. Neptune is also still in retrograde. Well, it's in its shadow, actually. So it went direct on November 22nd and it remains in shadow until March 13th of 2018. So we can still be dealing with some of that as well. Neptune takes about 164 years to do a complete revolution around the sun, thus spending about 14 years in each sign of the zodiac. Neptune moves into retrograde approximately every year for around 150 days. When Neptune goes retrograde, our spirituality, inner tranquility, and vision become the focus. And lastly, Pluto, which went direct on September 28th, but is in shadow in Capricorn. So we're going to go over a bunch of things are in Capricorn and a bunch of things are in Sagittarius right now. And I'll try to remember those and rattle them off fairly quickly if I can. Pluto takes 248 years to do a complete revolution around the sun, thus spending on average 21 years in each sign of the zodiac. Pluto moves into retrograde approximately every year for around 5 to 6 months. When Pluto goes retrograde, it is good to reflect on how we're doing with change and transformation. So I'm doing this recording on 12/18, which is the day of the new moon. Tomorrow, 12/19, the first day of the month of Tevet, the Hebrew month of Tevet, is also the same day that the sun enters Capricorn and Saturn enters Capricorn. So now we just went over Pluto is also retrograde, at least in shadow, in Capricorn. And Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, is in Capricorn as well. What else? So Sagittarius, Venus is in Sagittarius. She entered, as I said, on the 1st. Remains there till December 25th, so Christmas Day. So that'll all be during this period. Until such time, the sun is in Sagittarius. This moon is going to be in Sagittarius. And Mercury is retrograde in Sagittarius. That brings us to Scorpio. That's, I think, where the other bunch of activity is happening, because Jupiter is in Scorpio and Mars this month is in Scorpio. And I think that may be it. In addition to Neptune being in shadow in Pisces, the sign which it rules. Chiron also in shadow, having been retrograde in Pisces as well. Okay, so with that, let's see what else is up. I talked about what I felt the new moon was going to be about. It's the last new moon of the year, and I think it is about, if we don't actually put stuff into action, planning to put it into action, what we want new, you know, in time for the start of the new year, it's a year of two. So of partnership, of duality, of faith, turning faith into works, so that by the time year 3 runs around, we actually have foundations starting to form in time for 4. You know, we always got to be thinking ahead on the, and you know, active in our own lives, willing participants in our own lives. And it is, of course, following the final full moon of the year, which was the Gemini, or is the Gemini full moon. That was also a super moon. And that moon was about, in true Gemini style, cutting, like the final cuts to things that, you know, we needed to cut out. And if you haven't done that yet, I also say merge the two energies, use both. Today's the 18th, so the year's not over, the month isn't over, and we still have time to get rid of things that no longer belong in our lives because they don't serve us, or sometimes they don't serve anyone or humanity even, like at all. We got to get rid of all this stuff. Raphael coming to chime in right now. I hear him in the background. I don't know if you guys can. And again, either putting new things in action in time to begin the new year, or, oh wow, he's with Chatterbox. Or at least putting the plans into action. And in some cases, depending upon what it is new we're trying to implement, we will only want to do the plans because of the Mercury retrograde, right? We're going to want to wait until the 22nd before making certain things official. All right, so with that, weekend away, 29 or 11 or 2, this could be about our year 2 stuff, partnership, right? And 29 represents spiritual partnership in particular, or like partnership that serves humanity. 9 is a call to begin your light work, essentially, and to do something that serves humanity better. And the third one is forget it. Spirit says romantic dinner, eat cake, and now I hear the Temptations, my girl. No, not sure from where that's coming. Email. Sometimes when I do this stuff, I hear music from another room or something in my house. That's probably what it is, but it's not like clear that that's what it is. In any case, I'm going to begin with fair male, which, yes, represents like this karmic masculine energy for me. Not necessarily a person, but quite often an actual person in our lives, but also brings forward the energy from the tarot of the Devil card and Capricorn. So that can be why it's here too. Because again, tomorrow we do enter Capricorn, and Capricorn is that restrictive planet. Saturn is that restrictive planet. And Capricorn is that restrictive energy. That could be why I'm opening now from this fair male to control. Like that feeling stuck, like the Devil card energy from the tarot again. Into courting man. He was upside down. That may mean something. Fair male and the dark male. So they're like opposite. This would be like perhaps light over dark, although their complexions don't say that. This one is the one that I see as dark in terms of karma, and this one is the one that I read as light. This right now, during the period of Hanukkah, which I didn't mention, but is also happening right now. Hanukkah is the festival of lights, similar to Diwali, celebrated in, the East. It's about good over evil, light over dark. And I do feel that that's another factor with which we'll be dealing during this period. Very much so. And I think we all need a reminder every now and then that whatever you believe spiritually or religiously or whatever, if you're an atheist even, if you're calling yourself a quote unquote twin flame or any of these things, they're based on angels. Anything you look up is going to, the end result ultimately is going to involve angels. So it all comes back. And there are good angels and there are bad angels. There were 200 some odd fallen angels that are expected to return in the same way that those of us are the light were. All of it is written, not just the good parts. I think we sometimes need to be reminded of that. And that's why I'm very specific for whom I read and what I do and how I title my videos. One of the reasons why I don't use the term quote unquote twin flame, because that's sort of all encompassing and, a free for all for everyone. And I'm very specific, hashtag Team Light. I think we need to keep this in mind too. However, it may relate to us that we could, when we encounter people, even on this journey, not to be so quick to necessarily presume that because somebody's on a spiritual journey, they're on, the same path of light that you are. All right, so fair male. And opening to money. Capricorn, of course, an earth sign, all about practicality and dedication and commitment and associated with pentacles in the tarot. Fair male. Beauty queen. And fair male again. I'm going to cut. And we've come to the mature woman. I came to it in reverse, but I'm going to turn it over, of course. The overall energy is short-term heartbreak, but the fact that it was in reverse can also mean something as well. For some of us, getting over or having gotten over already a short-term heartbreak and moving on. Perhaps as a result of some of the cuts we made with the Gemini full moon, right? We took the sword to some people, places, and things that didn't belong in our lives anymore. Sometimes we mourn those things, even though we know we have to let them go. And that could have been the short-term heartbreak. The divine couple, the recent past. So again, this is specific to the 2 weeks surrounding the new moon, 2 weeks of energy. The masculine higher self. And as it relates to, of course, the moon energy specifically too. Like what's going to be coming, or celestial events energy that's going to be coming at us. Blocks of the union. What the feminine can do, the masculine can do here. Further advice from the universe and the outcome. Divine couple. Boom! How do you like starting like this? Union, okay? The recent past. Young female. I think this is Sagittarius coming out. It often has that energy for me, similar to how that fair male card speaks Capricorn to me. This one speaks Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the youthful, the more youthful of the, or the most useful of the fire element. It is that mutable sign, similar to Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and like sort of forever young, despite age maybe, and then all this red, right? The red lip, the red hair, the red skirt, very fire sign that jumps out of this card for me. So I think this is representing Sagittarius. That's the recent past of, you know. Uh-oh. Near future. Well, near future can be Capricorn, and near future can also be karmic issues with which we're dealing. And we know that that's the case. True for some of us, because I went over what those issues would be, and many of you expressing that it has been spot on in your lives in the 2 readings that I did, one for the masculine, one for the feminine, with regard to karmic issues taking us throughout the end of the year. But yes, again, I want to reiterate on a positive note, because I am feeling that too. This very plainly going from Sagittarius to Capricorn, which is what we're doing literally today, right? Today will be the last day that the sun is in Sagittarius, and the very near future, as in tomorrow, it will be in Capricorn. Masculine's higher self. Very Mars. Very divine masculine, right? With the lion here. Mars, the masculine planet of love, that can be where his mind is, but also very emperor, ready to step into a leadership position, in control of his own destiny, his own life right now, or having taken back control. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from that. Again, Mars in Scorpio right now. Blocks to the union. Ooh. Twin flame. Be kind of like there are no blocks. Except for, especially when we're feeling this union. This is representing us. Except for the fact that, for some of us, the fact that this type of union is so intense, lack of a better word, so intense. It's the fear associated, fear, ego, devil card, associated with entering this type of union. That's the only block here. And I was talking about this actually on a more personal level, not this, but something similar earlier, where someone had asked, like, what was your biggest, like, compliments and complaints in relationships? And I was saying, like, one of my problems tends to be that, you know, not from my perspective necessarily, so not in a like conceited or arrogant kind of way, but from the perspective of my man. And I've had very long relationships, so they don't end, but this has been an issue that comes up. They feel like I'm too, like, pretty and popular or whatever. That presents insecurities in them. So it's like easier to do something else other than this kind of like really strong love. It's easier to do something else. If I'm making any sense. That's why this is here as the block. And aside from that, it's not a block at all. I mean, you know, so, but all of these have like positive and negative. Aside from that, it's not the message is there is no block, right? This is the situation. Everything is good. What can the feminine do here? Maybe nix a karmic soulmate, with soulmate sitting here next to this very, you know, karmic male. Because maybe you did that, took the easier way out instead of the quote unquote twin flame. So you can stop that now. What can the masculine do? Go for the feminine of the light. Not that brunette female. This one, the blonde female who's actually a redhead. So basically the same thing as the male, as the masculine. I mean, what the feminine can do. Getting rid of the karmic soulmate. You can get rid of yours too. Further advice from the universe, because karma. Deal with your karma is what the masculine, I mean, what the universe says to us right now. And the outcome, spiritual growth, having worked through all of your karmic issues. There you have it. Beautiful ending here. Well, start to finish, beautiful. From there, I'm going to go to the Angel Tarot, beginning with Unity, which is the High Priest or the Hierophant, and can be about some of us maybe beginning school and things like that, with January approaching quickly. Higher education, higher institutions, enlightenment, that spiritual growth. Also commitment, marriage even. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organizations, seek out mentors and like-minded friends. Yes, it's also about the need to sometimes make adjustments to our environment. Again, cutting off friends that, and sometimes even relatives and things that don't serve us anymore, with whom we no longer align, and replacing them with people of our vibration or higher. Excuse me. An opening to the Queen of Earth. Okay, this can also represent Taurus or other earth sign, and now the Queen of Earth here. Thoughtful, creative, warm, sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. This can be representing Capricorn, right? The Queen of Earth can be a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. Queen of Earth. And opening to the Seven of Water, which is very Neptune or Piscean kind of energy for me. Like a lot of choices, or maybe your head is in the clouds. You're not really sure what to do, or you're procrastinating. You know, you're sitting like dreaming, dreamland, all of that stuff. A complex decision, the need to do research. Stop procrastinating. Queen of Earth. And opening to the Moon. Moon always shows up when I do a moon reading, or the week of the moon, all that stuff. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. The Moon also represents the sign of Pisces. Queen of Earth. And it's the King of Fire. Motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic is the King of Fire. Focus, focus, focus. Communicate with vision. Be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. This can be that very Mars kind of card that came through representing the Divine Masculine before. Representing Mars, representing Aries, even Scorpio for me, particularly right now with Mars in Scorpio. Sagittarius, of course, as well. It is also represents the quintessential Divine Masculine of the Tarot. I'll go one more. And it's the Six of Earth, one of my most favorite cards, and particularly in this deck. Gifts of money, time, or effort. New career opportunities. Receiving a loan or paying off debts. The Six of Earth very much represents the Queen of Earth, or Venus for me. And both of her elements. The Libra here, the scales, and the Earth, of course. It's about unconditional love and giving without, and receiving without agenda. And the Seven of Air, about thievery, distrust, lack of confidence, plans that need revision. More going on than meets the eye. Poor timing. And the overall energy is the Page of Earth. Scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging, maybe even a new area of studies. I just talked about enlightenment. This could represent spiritual enlightenment, learning things about ourselves, having gone within, having achieved, make accomplishments, made strides in our own lives, addressing our own karmic issues. They can be about somebody actually going back to school or something, because that time is upon us too. Or learning something new at work, taking up a new trade, new vocation. The Page of Earth represents the sign of Virgo, most specifically for me, but also Taurus, Capricorn as well. Masculine. Ooh, Three of Air. There's that morning. great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. We also saw this coming up, I think, in both the general and the love readings, the seeking of forgiveness. He's surrounded by the 10 of Earth. A very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. For some of the masculine, somebody may have passed away also and left like some sort of inheritance or something. And in the masculine subconscious, the 5 of air, an unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. There's Raphael again too. The 5 of air is a card of conflict here in this particular position of the subconscious. It can be about just being, conflicted. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Like really just, it's your own mind. That's not the word I'm trying to think of, but it's in your mind, these difficulties that you're going through. Like, you know, conflict with yourself. Surrounded by, the feminine is, represented by strength, major arcana card strength, card number 11. Great inner strength. Release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. And then we have the forgiveness and compassion, or the need for it, mirroring the masculine's desire for it. So I'm sure that means something too. Also, with this, I'm still getting feelings about this 10 of Earth. So for some of us, unfortunately, I do feel that. And maybe they're not passing away now. Maybe it's past. That this is some sort of inheritance, and maybe not just on the sake of on the side of the masculine, perhaps in some of the lives of some of the feminine as well. It's a male in your family, like maybe a grandfather or a father. It's that sort of thing, and they leave behind like an inheritance or whatever. And then for others, the union from the previous spread, for some, that's a commitment that the masculine has entered with somebody else. Here's the need for healing again with Raphael. He's real busy today. That's a commitment with somebody else. It's coming to me now for some. And the twin flame union is, the twin flame connection is blocking that or messing that up. And that may be one of the things that causes like a karmic end to that relationship and the pain also. I wasn't expecting to go back to the masculine, but that all that came from the strength card here for the feminine, crowning the feminine. Surrounding the feminine, the Knight of Fire. Very nice. Passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless is the Knight of Fire. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. The Knight of Fire is a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo, or somebody taking on any of those traits or attributes. And basically, the Knight of Fire in particular, for me, is Prince Charming, like coming to the rescue of a situation. So this could be the energy of this strength, it being sent to you. It can be an actual person, especially since it's a court card, that is like supportive of you and helps you through a period, or reminds you of like who you are and that you have the strength already, like without them. In the feminine subconscious, the Knight of Water. Your wish comes true, concerns fade away, you have a love of life. This is a big, like, resounding yes from the major arcana, from the minor arcana rather. Not unlike the star, and for the major arcana is a similar energy but stronger. And so if you had like a yes or no question that you were pondering, decision you needed to make, you may want to go with, it looks like you're thinking about it here with this card being in this position, and you may want to go ahead and go with yes. This is prayers being answered, dreams coming true, all of those things. Crowning. Speaking of decision, the need to make one. So we come from here and go, the next step is here, and there is in fact a decision that we're needing to make, or perhaps that we're awaiting an answer. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there is no problem. Again, perhaps with these cards mirroring one another, particularly maybe you're considering forgiving the masculine and wondering whether you should. The answer is yes, I'm going to say. At the root, the Queen of Water. Well, yes, she would say yes, right? Because this is about relationships growing closer, not falling apart. Tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving is the Queen of Water. She's also a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, or somebody taking on those traits or attributes. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. At the heart of the matter, the King of Earth, who is generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. And of course, this would be attributed to either archetype, being at the center. We both have access to what's being bestowed upon, the abundance and everything. Can also, again, be attached to this male, and specifically male, that is leaving behind or has left behind something. So I was trying to pick up my romance cards, and I was shown first health and healing with Hilarion, and then energy healing. So I think that's going to be important too. Both of those from the Ascended Master deck. But like I said, I'm going on to the romance cards, beginning with let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. And opening to pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Well, the red flags could very well be Sagittarius itself, Jupiter, perhaps, and the luck and the karma, right? Pay attention. Stay on the right side of karma, for example. If it has anything to do with the spread, the Knight of Fire would be the red flag here, which is a positive one. I was getting something about Mars too. Maybe it'll continue to come. I think it is just telling us to watch that, the overbearing potential energy of Mars and Aries and maybe even Scorpio, like that kind of where it's no longer attractive. Be careful of that part. Let go of control issues. And opening to keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Keep an open mind. But you're calling in your soulmate nonetheless. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Calling in your soulmate and true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. True love. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. The overall energy is religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. This can be the sacredness, right? The sanctity of the unions. It can also be these ideologies that have led us into karmic situations that are unfolding now. Atop the Three of Air, express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So I said that this card showing up here was about the need for forgiveness. The masculine's desire for forgiveness and making apologies and all of that. And so the romance angels concur, and they're saying, yes, it has to do with expressions of love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So where he is maybe deciding, sitting here next to the 2 of air, maybe he's pondering, should I? And that's why he's conflicted here with the 5 of air as well. The romance angels come through and say, yes, you do need to make that apology. Atop the 10 of earth, trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. So this would be trust in... The 10 of earth is about happy family life, like feeling secure emotionally and financially. So you should be able to trust that you will be able to feel that way. And I guess, again, the masculine is conflicted. So right now he may not trust that's achievable for him with the 5 of air in his subconscious and the 3 of air sitting here. The romance angels say you can do that and you can still have, that's what the forgiveness and everything is going to bring, right? You can still have positivity. You can come back from these difficult and hurtful situations. Atop that 5 of air in the conflict, like stop fighting it, basically is what the romance angels are saying. Let go of control issues and allow this situation to unfold naturally. You don't have to be going through this mental anguish. That's the word I was trying to think of. Did I ever come up with it before? I'm coming up with it now. Mental anguish, this struggle in your own head, let it go and allow these things to flow and happen, unravel. So stop trying to not move forward too. Like that's a control issue also. Fighting the progress. Crown of the feminine, atop strength. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And you have the strength to do that as well. Atop the Knight of Fire, Prince Charming, as I called him. Boom. Soulmate. Yes. This is your soulmate. For some, not only will he be taking on this Prince Charming sort of persona, of course, it's going to be a direct fire sign as well. Or somebody with this. So it can be an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, an actual one, or maybe even a Scorpio. Again, with Mars being a ruler of Scorpio and currently in that sign. And with these cards crossing the Queen of Water, which also represents Scorpio for me in particular. Atop the 9 of Water, and your prayers having been answered, the romance angels come through to let you know it is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive. So like that energy of the 6 of earth that we saw before. And I said it's about giving and receiving without agenda. It's about true unconditional love from me. That's the place we want to try to get to, where we can give and receive the highest energy of all without expecting anything back, like without looking for payment for it. Atop the 2 of air, and this decision that has to be made or that you're awaiting, right? Don't go through the mental anguish saying with it and overthink it and all that. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectation. So where it is concerning our soulmate, keep an open mind. And we do have it here crossing soulmate and crossing this happy family situation that the masculine is seeking as well. Here atop the Queen of Water, which I said represents that romance, relationships coming closer together, the energy of Scorpio. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. And at the heart of the matter here, atop the King of Earth, calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So this is the prayers, like the 9 of Water energy, which is crossing, having resulted in the abundance, right? Asking the universe for abundance, it's giving you just that in the form of the soulmate, which this sits next to and atop respectively. I'm going to also, again, add the Ascended Master cards to these, beginning with energy healing. This is on what a lot of us are focusing on right now, whether you're, doing something on your own or coming to people like me who specialize in this sort of thing, in healing energy, and we're getting this done before the new year, which is very important. So I applaud anybody that's working on that in any regard. And opening to detach from drama and Pallas Athena. That's a form of healing your energy too, right? When you walk away from toxic situations and people and whatnot, that's a method of healing your energy. Detach from drama and opening to teacher. I was feeling Hierophant when I talked about walking away from the people and stuff, and that could be what this is coming through to represent too. So again, clearing your cipher of vibrations that don't align with your own. You need something that is closer to yours or higher, from whom you can learn something, right? Detach from drama and listen. That's like paying attention to your intuition. It's telling you who to move away from, what to move away from. You got to follow that. Detach from drama. I'll go one more. Drink more water also, because Queen of Sun is indicating that we are continuing to go through ascension as well. I actually feel like I just got thirsty too. Right now. Detach from drama. I'm going to cut. You can do it, says Archangel Michael. So you can seek the apology. You can give the forgiveness. You have the strength to do that. You have the strength also to love yourself first. You can do that. You can put yourself ahead of other people and put your desires and wants, your wishes ahead of other people. You can let go of the control issues and trust the universe and have some faith, masculine, that things are going to work themselves out, especially if you listen and follow the guidance you've been getting. All those things, you can do it. And you can do this as well. Balance career and home life, says Queen Isis. Here atop, express your love and the Three of Air, masculine priorities. So this is very important, is what King Solomon, Ascended Master King Solomon comes through these cards to tell you to do. You really have to, I mean, it's for you also. And like, regardless of what you think the decision may be or response may be, when we seek forgiveness, it's more so for us than even for the other people. And it sounds selfish in that way, but it's not. It releases everyone from the ties to that resentment and that pain. But in a physiological sense, more so ourselves, because harboring those sort of things can cause all kinds of problems, you know, health-wise. So it's a priority. You got to make it a priority. Atop trust. See, I told you guys, I felt this. I apologize. Atop this 10 of Earth, where I said somebody passes away or something and leaves an inheritance, peace offering, white buffalo calf woman. And those of you who watch me with any sort of regularity know that when I pull this card, this one and or proper burial for freedom, sacrifice to Osiris, it means death in the very literal sense. Atop, let go of control issues, and the 5 of Air is right, says Thought. So this can be, again, not necessarily, it can be right. You can physically write in order to communicate. But I think the thought is also guiding you to communicate in general. Again, let go of the control issues that are holding you back from seeking the forgiveness and extending the forgiveness, making the apologies and receiving the apologies wherever you have to do that, especially not necessarily even where it has to do with the divine feminine, but maybe where it has to do with other loved ones. Like we have a time to talk when we're all here. And then, you know, when we're gone, we leave things unsaid that we wanted to say. That hurts us too. Make it a priority to reach out to those you love, is what is coming through here from Ascended Master Thought. Like, even if you haven't been getting along with somebody, in my own family, my mother and sister didn't talk for years. They're close again. I'm thankful for that. But that's the kind of thing I'm trying to describe. Atop love yourself first, and the strength is the flow of prosperity. Because when we do that and we surrender to the universe and put ourselves first and forward and, you know, follow not only our intuition and the guidance that we're being given, but our hearts, is when we open up that flow. And we have these cards here, crossing the King of Earth, which is all about that Midas touch and the abundance really working and flowing both ways in the form of love, money, whatever kind of abundance, all forms, or prosperity. Atop Soulmate. And the King of Fire is yoga and Babaji. So we're guided to meditate, but also the first thing that popped into my mind is some of us may be wanting to have children. Yoga can help with that. I won't go into further detail, but I promise you, yoga can help not only with the act of sex itself, but fertility. Atop it is safe for you to love, and the 9 of water, our wishes coming true, is teacher. So with this, we've already learned, like we've been through something, right? Some sort of experience. And maybe that's why we're worrying, we're wondering, we have that question. Is it safe for me to love? The answer is yes, right? Because this is the yes card, the yes answer. But not only that, whatever we went through that made us even ponder that and wonder that was, you know, an experience and a lesson, and has left us with something positive in that regard. And that's why teacher shows up here. Atop keep an open mind, because your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations, and the 2 of air indicating that we have a decision to make or that we are awaiting one. Krishna says, find the blessing in your current situation. So what is positive about the differences maybe between you and your soulmate, the struggles you've gone through to this point? What is the positive aspect that you're taking with you? And even in the loss of someone, the unfortunate loss of someone that we love, or I just heard even a pet. I guess it would be a male pet too. But even in the unfortunate loss, those kind of situations, we're being guided to find the blessing. So let's say I'll go back to, it's somebody's grandfather, something like that. The blessing may be, you know, like the long life that this man lived. If he wasn't well, you know, the blessing, the fact that he is no longer in this pain, may be represented by the 3 of air. The blessing be like, you now can have what they worked so hard for you to be able to have. Maybe their home, their bank account, whatever it is they're leaving to you. All of those things being positive, and on what we should focus, or on what the Ascended Masters guide us to focus in this situation. Here, atop make the effort, and the Queen of Water is persistence. So don't just make the effort and like haphazardly, without your full oomph. You've got to be persistent. You've got to really put in the effort here. is what Lu says. And at the heart of the matter, atop the king of earth and calling in your soulmate is take charge of this situation, says Moses. So feminine for us, take charge of the situation, heal your flow of abundance and prosperity. You have the strength to do it. Put yourself first forward and your best foot forward and do it. Take charge of the situation. Masculine, you've got some priorities to put in order and in line. And you can do that too. You're guided by Moses to take charge of the situation. And these I just want to shuffle a little bit because they already gave us union and twin flame. So now I'm opening to friendship. This can represent friendships being restored, even among divine couples, again, with forgiveness and compassion and the release of resentment and regret and pain can begin a friendship anew. And this is like the best way to start even romantic love is in friendship. But when I have friendship opposite union, not only do I have these two yellow cards, which would represent Archangel Uriel for me, God's light. So again, taking us back to that light over evil, light being triumphant and unions coming together, like despite all the pain and all the difficulty we have in this picture. It's not the ring finger that we know to be associated with marriage, but we have this band on the friend's finger. So not completely unlike these. And to me, it shows like a friendship that develops into something else, into something much more special and loving, like union. Union. And beauty queen. This is like what I was talking about myself earlier, like, you know, feeling good, maybe actually being good, looking good, super popular, charismatic, like all those things. Confident. Maybe that we can get what we have to get done, confident. And twin flame, yet again. I was talking about this sort of energy with regard to the twin flame card. That's where I stopped to tell you my little brief story about how sometimes that popularity, it can get in the way, right? So I had to make time too for home and career. I share myself with other people. And for a mate, yes, it can be attached to insecurity. And so that's something for them to work on. But at the same time, it's something for me to work on too, because I have to give my relationships the time that they warrant and deserve also. I have to give my mate, you know, me, and enough of me that they feel secure rather than insecure. They feel, you know, supported by me and loved by me and attended to by me, nurtured by me. I don't know why I was meant to tell you guys that, so that it can come into play for other people. Here's this karmic chick, brunette female. Hopefully she'll go away. And the overall energy is wallflower, which is very much so for me an energy of Capricorn, Scorpio, Gemini. It is this sort of person who is a beauty queen type, right? Popular, everyone likes you, but you're at the same time sort of withdrawn yourself. So you're at the party, but you're not necessarily engaging. And the past couple of times I've picked up this card, I have heard the song and been drawn to the song. I don't know, I should look it up, but that song, I Hope You Dance, because there's people here dancing. I don't know if you can see. In the dark here, looks like a male figure. He's dancing. There's a female silhouette here. She's dancing. And then we have this feminine sitting in a chair, not engaging at the party. And that song, I'll post a link to the song, and so that we can all look up the lyrics. But the one is like, if you ever get the choice, like the decision to make, to sit it out and like to not make the effort and go for what you want or whatever, to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. Like, I hope you make the choice to go with your heart, basically. Further advice to the masculine. Boom. Okay, so this is what you're guided to do, masculine. Go for what you know, like I said, for your heart's desires. Feminine. Boom. How awesome is this? True love. Masculine. Justice. You're guided to do the right thing. Okay. We do have right now, I mentioned it in the general. We do have right now Jupiter, planet of karma, which again is in Scorpio. Sign of love and emotion and transformation, change, death and rebirth. We have it sitting next to Libra in the skies. Libra, sign of justice, fairness, balance, equality, love. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. This is also with being an air sign. It's about communication too. And again, expressing yourself, speaking up. Feminine, the Knight of Air, which again can be the same energy. This can be the masculine coming to, do that talking to you. Or this can be you initiating something. Knight of Air doesn't like hold back and doesn't hesitate or whatever. He takes off and addresses things. He's that he has that sense of urgency about him that this can't wait. I got to do this. I got to prioritize this issue. Knight of Air is intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. This can also have to do, it can definitely be attached to Justice and Libra and Venus. And Venus, which is in Sagittarius right now. Or it can have to do with thought, Mercury, and the Mercury Retrograde. And Mercury going direct. So maybe, again, we're conflicted up until the 22nd. And then Mercury going direct. And we know exactly what we have to do. And we take off running. From the romance angels to the masculine, true love. So the feminine got one. Now you got one too. This is the romance of a lifetime. Okay, so you don't want to miss the chance. You don't want to enter that new year having chosen to sit it out and not dance. From the romance angels to the feminine, healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, but not just your parents. I mean, similar to what I said to the masculine about seeking forgiveness and making up with people or closing situations, right? Providing closure, even if we walk away from a situation, whatever that closure means, even if it's just for ourselves. I forgive myself and you don't seek forgiveness from anybody else. Whatever the case is, we have to heal these issues. Now, for me, the healing of family issues or whomever, it's not just your parents, it's anybody who's so impactful upon you that your love life can't move on or your life can't move on in general without correcting the situation with them, then you have to correct the situation with them. Whether that means repairing the relationship and making up or walking away. And from the Ascended Masters, I love this. Open your heart to love, masculine, says Jesus. So this is again about love being able to pass both ways. That very 6 of Earth, unconditional love, unsolicited, unadulterated. It's 100% pure. I am giving to you because love. I am accepting from you because love. And that's it. And lastly, to the feminine, trust, says Vishnu. I hope that you guys enjoyed our new moon in Sagittarius reading. And I wish you all the best in this life and love that we have ahead. It seems very exciting. I look forward to it. Namaste, angels.